Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all on this Wednesday, hump day. I hope you're all being safe and healthy out there. Welcome back to Roll to Forge. My name is Jeremy Gage, and you've come to the solo Ironsworn game that I am running because I want to, and I've never done a solo game before, so this will be interesting. I am repurposing some D&D 5e adventures and kind of doing a crossover. I'm just going to go in order of publication, so I'm starting with the Tyranny of Dragons set. If you haven't watched the first episode where we kind of design the world, please watch that for more in-depth making of it. I'm just going to do a small recap here of what we came up with. So the very nitty-gritty is that in this version of the Ironlands, there are these creatures known as the Iron Beasts, and they are sort of the apex predators in different regions that people talk about in myth or rumor, oral tradition, maybe ancient scrawlings, and there are numerous other types of metal beasts. There are gold ones, brass ones, copper ones. Those are all kind of riffing off of the metallic dragons from D&D 5e, and we kind of had to we had to look at the conventions of the adventure and see what it kind of required of us. So we know dragons are a thing, but in Ironsworn there are no fire-breathing dragons, but there are wyverns. So we're going to follow Kaldos, who is our iron sealer, or training to be, as he goes on a journey to discover what it means to have this piece of the Iron Skull. For us on the meta level, the Iron Skull is going to be a part of some ritual that allows the Cult of the Dragon, Cult of the Talon, don't know what the cult is specifically called yet, but they want to revive Tiamat, which is going to be our Iron Wyvern in this game. So we will kind of monitor and resource that as it comes along. As you can see on my screen here, I'll be taking notes that you can visually see, and then we also have the map and all of my character sheet up in just a moment. But we are from the town of Blackhaven, or the settlement of Blackhaven, located inside the Veiled Mountains. So in the Veiled Mountains, I'll just kind of zoom out here real quick. We're at the most upper north portion of the Ironlands, and I think this is where generally most of the adventure is going to take place. I don't see myself really traveling beyond regions. I want to try and save other regions for other adventures, so we're going to be kind of locked in here. Plus, this is a good place since the book describes it as being kind of a wyvern nesting ground. We have a couple of bonds. I'm going to zoom back in here. Move this down. If we open up my character sheet here, we have Kaldos. Oops, got to shrink that down just a tad bit. Kaldos is training to be in the Ironbound Keepers, I think is what we called them. Order of the Ironbound. I'm just going to call it the Ironbound. We have a friend in the name of Tessa, and she is a priest. Whoops. Bear with me. I am not the fastest typer. There are many temples in this version, there are many temples of the Ironbound in different regions of the world to keep track of the specific apex predator. So in our region, wyverns are the apex predator, but maybe somewhere like in the deep wilds, it might be a bear, or near the coast, it might be a shark, right? Ooh, an iron shark would be super dope. Anyways, oops. When my computer says this is not how you spell priest. Huh? Sure, computer. We have our first vow, which is to rescue Tessa. She has been nabbed by bandits or Cult of the Dragon. Not entirely sure, but she's gone missing. We trailed them all the way to a site called the Underkeep of Aurvang's Iron. I suspect Aurvang is a giant, maybe a dead one, since the theme of this is haunted, so maybe we'll run to like some undead or ghostly giant themed things. There may have been even a time in Ancient's past where giants used wyverns as pets, attack dogs sort of things. If you're unfamiliar with Ironsworn, there are a number of tables we can roll on that help us execute on it being a solo game. And that's kind of the small recap of it. So we are going... Oh, I want to do a tiny bit of adjustment because I was thinking more about Kaldos, and I want to change his path. I don't think he's more of a caster. I think he needs to do something that's a little bit more sealing. I imagine him like using chains to lock down people. So I might switch that up. I'm going to switch that up a little bit. Let's see, what does Dancer give us? We have pretty good stats in both Edge and Iron. I did that for the purposes of that D&D asks us to do combat, so at some point we're going to have to fight, and I think that's going to be important. I like Berserker. You know, I'm just gonna build a barbarian here. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be hardcore barbarian. So when I'm clad in ironclad, is that the one with armor? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Let's see, brawler, cutthroat. Nope. Duelist. Nope. Long arm. Sunder. We'll go with Sunder. And then I think we're gonna stick with Invoke just because the nature of our quest is a little bit more magical. And that's about it. I feel a little bit more pleasant about this version of Kaldos than the other one. Just one simple change. So our 3 assets in this game, if you're unfamiliar, there are no classes. You build your character's special abilities out of a number of components known as assets that are in 4 pieces: combat talents, paths, which are kind of like profession type things, rituals, which are magic, and then companions, which are companions. And you get to pick 3 of them in the beginning. As you complete vows, you gain experience, and that experience allows you to either increase the level of the asset or gain a new one. As you can see, each asset has 3 boxes. Some of them are initially ticked. Some of them have ticks that you can make. Specifically, I think those are the companion ones. And yeah, so progress we'll probably use later. Here are all the Oracle tables if you're unfamiliar with the game. I highly recommend this. The Ironsworn Core Rulebook is a free PDF that you can buy over at DriveThruRPG or on the Ironsworn site. And even if you're not playing Ironsworn, all of these tables are fucking fantastic for your D&D games, for your Forged in the Dark games, for your Powered by the Apocalypse games. They're just very powerful tools. They lean a little bit more to the medieval fantasy side of genres. I wouldn't really use them in a science fantasy game, or at least all of them. There are a ton of them you could use for prompt inspiration, and you'll see how those work as we play. So I'm going to be doing this for about an hour. We're 11 minutes in. That's the full recap. That's the game if you're new to this. Let's dive in. I have both the books in front of me here, and go. So we're going to do a Delve Oracle. No, we're going to do regular Oracle. And where is Delve moves? Oh, moves, lol. Delve moves. So we've discovered a site already, but just in case you are unfamiliar, when you resolve to enter a perilous site in pursuit of an objective, so all the moves have bolded text, and it is a requirement of what your fictional positioning is in the game. So I've come across the Underkeep of Aurvang's Iron. When you resolve to enter a perilous site in pursuit of an objective, which is to rescue Tessa, choose the theme and domain which best represent its nature. We rolled randomly on the tables, and we got a haunted mine, so it's going to be kind of labyrinthian and spoopy. We give it a rank. In this game, there are 5 ranks, and that determines the difficulty of a vow, a site, an opponent, basically 1 to 5, and they tick differently, so we don't do like 36 damage when we attack. We use a progress tracker, and normally, just so you know, most characters do 2 harm if they're wielding a weapon, 1 harm if they're not, and then other abilities that can alter those things. And those count as progress when you fight opponents. So if we're not returning to the site, so that doesn't matter. So we discovered a site. We are going to begin delving the depths. So I see, just to kind of give you an image of what you're looking at, Caldos is kind of this chocolate-skinned, hazel-eyed, wiry individual. He carries a double-bladed axe, and I think he also has maybe like some chains or metal flaked rope or iron flaked rope. He's dressed in simple animal pelts, wolf hair, maybe like a bear's hide or something to that effect, like wolf boots, bear top. Maybe wears like a necklace of feathers or something. He's very, very naturalist. And he has this really cool set of like long bundled ponytail dreadlocks, which I think is sexy as hell. So that's what we're doing with, and big bushy eyebrows. Basically imagine me, but with dreadlocks. And you've got Caldos. And he's also buffer. I'm buff. But he's buffer. Defined. He's more defined. I could take him. And what he comes to is he travels this craggy ravine, tall pillars of stone that kind of frame a walkway to what looks like some sort of man-made tunnel entrance in the rock. So I believe that in this version of Ironlands, these mines, these veiled mountains, are where large deposits of iron sit. Iron is a very rare resource in our world, and it also has the potential to be hazardous. It can create a poison that I named. Did I bold it somewhere? Yes, the Iron Menace. So it's kind of a mutagenic disease that causes you to petrify. There are some known as the Broken Iron, which are people who came before us that have sort of evolved. They're like mindless iron zombies. And that's that specific disease is what is called caused the mutation in different creatures in our setting. So we come across this big, nothing, no risk, no reward. We come across this big opening that has probably a framing of wood or other pieces of slabs of rock that keep the kind of roofing portion of this facility open. We can see a bunch of broken tools laid across the ground. I'm going to say we have the technology for tracks. So for wheels and tracks, there are certainly blacksmiths in this world. So we see some railroad tracks that have kind of like bent upwards or rusted over time due to frequent rains at this altitude. And we look around. We followed a couple of people dragging Tessa from Blackhaven over to the mines. over the dead of night, so we're hitting just morning, although we're about to delve into darkness. And we are going to traverse our first section. So I think I creep warily up to the entrance, and we're going to do a delve move called Delve the Depths. I'm going to roll on screen so that everyone can see. I was going to do something with my dice, but meh. So that'll appear down here in the bottom right, hopefully. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And we're going to roll. So Delve the Depths. We're going to use Shadow because I want to do it sneakily. No modifier. Have to close this real quick. Go over to this. Ooh, oh, okay. So in Ironsworn, how rolls work are that you roll 1d6, which is known as your action dice, and then 2d10, which are known as your challenge dice. Your objective is to have the number on your action dice, plus whatever modifier you use, to beat the challenge dice. Not meet and beat the challenge dice. So if I were to roll a 5, and then I rolled a 5 on the challenge dice, that is not beating it. There are no crits in the game except for narrative crits, which are when you roll the exact same number on the 2 d10s, in this case, which I got. So I will first execute on my Delve the Depths roll. So we are going to open back up my character sheet. I'm going to scroll this down, do that. So I have a strong hit. Strong hit, you delve deeper, mark progress, and find an opportunity. So first, I'm going to go to my site. We're going to open up our details. Oh, shoot, we didn't give this a thing. We're going to do dangerous just because it's the first one. Oh, I also want to clean up these denizens a little bit. I'm going to add maybe like some copper drakes. I'm going to do Wyvern Tamer instead, or Drake Tamer. For transitioning creatures from the D&D 5e Monster Manual into the Ironlands and giving them an appropriate difficulty rating, we're going to use the tiers of play that are present in D&D 5e. I have a video about this on the YouTube channel, but essentially, if unfamiliar, in D&D 5e, a player can go from levels 1 to 20, and those are broken up into 4 brackets called the tiers of play, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to break them up a little bit more and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And break them up in increments of 4. So if a creature in the Monster Manual has a CR rating of 1 to 4, it is going to be a troublesome opponent. If it has a rating of 5 to 8, then it is going to be a dangerous opponent, and then so on and so forth, all the way up to 20. Extreme and epic opponents are very difficult for a single person to defeat without some extreme means. So, yeah. So we have some lions in this space. I'm going to put giant bats as common. And then we mark progress, which for a dangerous is 2 boxes. So these all tick differently, like I said. When you mark progress for troublesome, you would mark 3 boxes. Dangerous is 2, formidable is 1. Each box is made up of 4 ticks. So extreme lets you mark 2 ticks, and then epic marks 1 tick at a time. So basically it takes roughly 3 progresses for troublesome, 5 for dangerous, 10 for formidable, 20 for extreme, and 40 for epic. An epic quest should take pretty much defines the majority of the campaign you're running. So we mark progress on delving the depths. We do the move find an opportunity, and then we'll roll on the major plot twist to see what that means. So find an opportunity. We're gonna roll it at the bottom here. A clue offers insight or direction. So we're gonna go to the major plot twist table over in the oracles. We're gonna give that a good old roll. Two seemingly unrelated situations are shown to be connected. So I go into the darkness. I think Kaldos will light a torch here into the space. Looks around, can hear the drips of water that seeped in from the rain outside. The tunnels beneath so I think it's a slight decline into the mountain. Puts his hand against the walls. They're a little slick with water. Maybe it recently rained. We're going to say it recently rained. You can hear the torch flickering and biting in the air. Smell of smoke. I think a couple of like small bats from the entrance kind of like flutter out. Let's see. Two seemingly unrelated situations are shown to be connected. What could we roll for that? Let's see if anyone's checking us out over here. Do we have any viewers? It says there are two. If anyone's in the chat, you're more than welcome to... If anyone's here viewing, you are more than welcome to throw out some ideas. I'll try to check the chat periodically here. What am I going to roll? Delve Oracle. The threat feature. Oh, you know what? Duh. First, we have to decide what we're delving into. So, where is the mine one? I'm going to have to roll manually. / roll 1d100. 32. Oh wait, feature is 32. Non-danger feature. Cramped tunnels. So I think these initial tunnels are very small. I think they're only big enough for maybe 2 people wide and comes pretty close to my head. I would say I'm about 5'10" or so. So just scraping against me on the top portion of my scalp. I'm also going to mark our vow for rescuing Tessa, which is the same level. Cool. Wow, I'm surprised I got that with a 1 on my shadow. So we're traveling through these cramped tunnels. Came by myself, axe on my back. Just sloshing through kind of this, they're probably petals on open rock surfaces. We're gonna delve a little deeper. Moves. Delve the depths. I still need to decide what those 2 unrelated events are. 2 seemingly unrelated events. Oracles. Let's do, what is the theme? Action? We're going to roll 2 actions here. Because an event is a verb, right? Oppose and guard. So I think what happens is that as we're coming down, there's a break off of a path. There's probably a fork in the tunnels ahead of us, and we can hear some sort of like screaming or fighting. And I think maybe one of the people who nabbed Tessa got separated from their group and is fighting something in the tunnels. So that something is probably guarding something else, or the bandit is guarding the direction in which they came. You know what? Even better, I say we run into one of the bandits. So I think we're gonna have to enter some combat here. We weren't really paying, or we have the drop on them actually, so we can take initiative on this for sure. So I'm going to enter the fray, I believe. I don't think there's a sneak up move. Rank of my foe, probably just going to be a tier 1 opponent, so troublesome, just me and them. So we're going to go to progress here. We're going to add lone bandit. Call it troublesome. Go to moves. When you enter the fray, set the rank of each of your opponents. Troublesome, 3 progress per harm, inflicts 1 harm. Then roll to determine who is in control. If you are moving into position against an unaware foe or striking without warning, roll plus shadow. If I'm ambushed, roll plus wits. If I'm facing off against my foe head to head, we roll plus heart. In this instance, we are rolling plus shadow. So enter the fray. We're using shadow. I'm not the sneakiest, but let's see what happens. All right, so I got a weak hit. On a weak hit, choose 1. Bolster your position and take +2 momentum, or prepare to act and take initiative. I think I'm going to take initiative here just so I can kind of strike first. So in Ironsworn, when you do combat, there's no necessarily initiative order. Initiative is just determining which move you use, whether you're on the front foot or the back foot of the combat, of the fray. So in this instance, we are on the front foot, which gives a little bit more leverage for our skills. And we are going to use the strike to follow up. So when you have initiative and attack in close quarters, roll plus iron. That's exactly what we're going to do. So that is a weak hit. On a weak hit, inflict harm and lose initiative. So our harm is 2. We're going to go to the progress. Lone bandits, we're going to mark 2 progresses worth of injury, which in this case is 6 boxes for a troublesome opponent. That's 3 per harm. And then, so we come around the corner. We kind of put our torch behind, and he's a little bit too preoccupied with something else in the tunnel. We kind of come out and strike. Let's see what else he is engaging with at this point. Because I think this is a good opportunity for us to lose initiative, that there's kind of a second combatant here. So sights. We are going to... Do I have an option to roll on the denizens? I don't. So I'm just going to have to do a flat roll here. 64. Ooh, an Iron Revenant, huh? So Iron Revenants are those who have taken vows. So in this game, when you swear an iron vow, you swear on a piece of iron. So I've sworn on maybe like this skull piece, this iron skull piece, that I will rescue Tessa. An Iron Revenant is a person who has died without fulfilling their vow, and either feels so much shame or feels so much of an attachment to this vow that it continues to propel them in life until it is completed, and thus creating an undead Iron Revenant. So we're going to add Iron Revenant to the fight. Progresses. We're going to add... I believe that an Iron Revenant is a higher Revenant. We're going to make them dangerous. So I think this Iron Revenant and me are pincering this bandit person, and I only just see the Iron Revenant. Caldas only just sees the Iron Revenant when they pop into the space, and the torch now lights them up. This kind of, I think the bandit is wearing some sort of maybe like Drake or Wyvern skin. So it's got like this almost brass material on it, scaled, kind of like a jerkin that runs down. and then the Iron Revenant is cladded in some sort of like iron armor, hollowed out skin, missing maybe the lips. All the skin is very like taut across the skull. There's pieces of flesh missing from maybe like the upper arm, just swinging this iron blade around in the space, clacking against and bouncing off of the cramped tunnel walls. So I have lost initiative. It means I'm on the back foot. I think that I am going to try to clash. So when your foe has initiative and you fight with them in close quarters, roll plus iron. When you exchange a volley, roll plus edge. So we are going to clash. We're going to use iron. No modifier. So a weak hit, again. On a weak hit, inflict harm, but then pay a price. Your foe still has initiative. So I'm going to finish. I think I'm going to inflict harm on the Revenant. So this is only 4 because it's 2 harm, and the progress is different for a dangerous opponent. And then I have to pay the price. So we're going to roll pay the price here. It wastes a resource. So in this game, we have essentially 3 resources to our character. We have health, spirit, and supply. Health represents our physical condition, and we have 5 hit points total. Spirit represents our mental condition, so we can become stressed out. And then supplies are for when we want to make camp, heal, etc., undertake journeys, use something to kind of bolster ourselves or gain an advantage. So I think that I strike, and he kind of like bounces out of the way, and then I go to finish him, and I think in that last moment he slips out of the way and I land inside of the Revenant, but I think the Revenant strikes me. Or have I seen a Revenant before? We're gonna ask the Oracle. So when you ask the Oracle, you dignify what, it's got to be like a yes or no question, and you dignify how likely a yes is. So I am going to say, also I hope my camera isn't in the way of most of these. I haven't been keeping track. Oh, cool. So it's not in the way. So I'm going to see if I've seen an Iron Revenant before. If the answer is yes, I'm just going to take harm. If it's no, I'm going to take stress. So we're going to make it unlikely. So if I roll 76 or higher, that's a yes. If I roll 75 or lower, that's a no. So no, I have not seen an Iron Revenant before. So I think it startles me. I think I'm going to endure stress from this. So endure stress. When you face mental shock or despair, suffer minus spirit equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation. If your spirit is 0, suffer minus momentum equal to any remaining spirit. So my foe's rank is essentially 2. So we are going to take 2 points worth of spirit damage, bringing us down to 3. Then roll plus spirit or plus heart, whichever is higher, which I think 3 is going to be the highest regardless of which one it is. So endure stress, spirit, no modifier. Ooh, full yikes. So on a miss, also suffer -1 momentum. If you're at 0 spirit, you mark shaken, but I'm not. So character sheet. We'll talk more about momentum when I get to use it, but for right now it's +1. And then I have to mark a complication. So we're going to go back to that major twist again. Oracles. Major plot twist. Roll it up. You and an enemy share a common goal. Well, we both want Tessa. I think that's pretty clear. Does the Revenant matter in this in any way? Maybe the Iron Beast can control those inflicted. Maybe there's some sort of like residual spirit energy. I'll have to ponder that. I don't know. I think that's a later down the line plot twist type thing. I don't think that's something that's going to affect us right this immediate second. I know that the bandits already want Tessa. Not Kaldos doesn't, but I, as the operator, do. So I pay the price. I took my stress. We are now in the fight. I think in this moment I'm going to face danger. So I think we're fighting back and forth. I wonder if we're going to ask the Oracle again. It's going to be a 50-50. And I want to know if this guy is going to turn tail or stay and fight me. I don't think he would help me because I just sunk axe into his back. So he's probably not chill on that. He is going to stay and fuck with me, I think, is what's exactly going to happen. So I'm going to face danger because these two are pincering me. So adventure move, face danger. We're going to... Oh, I hope that dialogue box isn't still up. We're going to close that real quick. Cancel. Carriage sheet, Kaldos. So, face danger. When you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat, envision your action and roll. If you act with speed and agility and precision, charm, etc., etc., you can read those there. I think that I am going to act with agility to try and get out of the way. So I'm going to roll plus edge. Oops, I am not on the chat side of things. Jesus H. Christ. That is going to be a failure. On a miss, you fail, or your progress is undermined by a dramatic or costly turn of events. Pay the price. So I'm going to roll pay the price. The current situation worsens. Let's find out how it worsens. Major plot twist. A trap is sprung. Not necessarily a trap, but I think more of the bandits come to aid their friend, and now I have to deal with a pack of bandits. So we're going to go to progress. So in this game, to fight, say, multiple opponents, you just up their rank by 1, and that sort of helps you monitor and manage having a ton of enemies for a game that doesn't really have like specific. It'd be too troublesome to track like 3 lone bandits, and the amount of damage that you would have to do over the course of them makes them much more difficult to deal with than changing their rank. So I guess you could do like gritty hard mode, but I don't think this is the game that facilitates this. So we're going to up their rank. Lone bandits, or not lone bandits anymore. Bandits. And they are a pack. The one's still slightly injured, so I think it's like one other person. I am going to try to... I'm like heavily outnumbered here. And I want to get away. Or do I want to compel them? Oh, I forgot. I have tea. Look at this fancy teacup. Cheers. If anyone's wondering, it's a blend of lemongrass and rose hips. Very, very good. Okay. So I want to get away. How do I get away? Secure an advantage. I think it's this. We're gonna try this bad boy here. we're gonna do it with probably edge. You know what? I'm going to do iron because I think I want to blast past the... Well, let's see. If that bandit came, I think it came behind me, so I took a wrong turn. I think I want to get past the bandits. So I'm going to go back the way I came and head down the opposite tunnel, leaving me and the Iron Revenant pinned around them. Balls! This is not a good day. Waste a resource. I try to break through. I think I'm attacked. I'm going to suffer some damage. So I'm going to endure harm. The rank is now higher. So that's going to go down to 3. I try to like muscle through the two of them, swinging my axe, and it catches, I think it catches rock. So this Iron Revenant is behind me, chasing me down. I try to blow past them. They wall me off since the tunnels are only 2 wide anyways. And one of them kind of maybe stabs me in the gut with like a dirk or something like that, to that effect. So we are going to endure harm. We are going to roll for health. Jesus. On a miss, I suffer another -1 momentum. I'm really gonna have to pick these fights smarter. Let's look at my assets. Is there anything in my assets that could have helped me? When you strike or clash in close quarters, you may suffer -1 momentum and +1 harm on hit. Should have known that before. When you secure an advantage or compel by embodying your wild nature, oh, that add +1. Would that have helped me? It would have given me a weak hit and take +1 momentum on a hit. So I'm actually going to take us back up to 2. And then, what was that? That was to secure the advantage, so that would have been a weak hit. Your advantage is short-lived. Take +1 momentum. So we're going to gain 1 more momentum here. We're not going to take the health damage. And I think I break past, but they're kind of chasing back behind me, or they've grappled me. I kind of still have to fight them. I'm going to try to end the fight. So there are certain moves in the game which are called progress moves. Progress moves use the progress that you've made on a vow, on an enemy, on a site, to kind of finish things up instead of rolling a dice. The progress we have for our human opponents is 6. So if I roll the challenge dice and I get, say, 2 5s, that's going to be a strong hit on the move. If I get 6 or higher on my challenge dice, that's going to affect my chances. So I'm going to try to end this early. Field progress is 6. It's a weak hit. On a weak hit as above, let's see, when you make a move to take decisive action and score a strong hit, you may resolve the outcome of this fight. If you do, roll the challenge dice and compare to your progress. Momentum is ignored on this roll. On a strong hit, this foe is no longer in the fight. They are killed, out of action, flee, or surrender as appropriate to the situation and your intent. On a weak hit, as above, but you must also choose 1. It's worse than you thought. Endure harm, endure stress. A new danger or foe appears. Something of value is lost or broken. An objective falls out of reach. You are marked for vengeance. I think I shove, because this is going to make whatever's going on more impactful with me. I think I shove the 2. I break past them. I turn around. I see the Revenant is coming. They're chasing after me. I bar my axe and I push into both of them, shoving them backwards and causing them to clash in with the Iron Revenant. They're cursing and screaming at me. they're now wrestling with this undead abomination in space, and I kind of like haul ass around the corner and down the other hallway. I think I memorize that turn. I don't want them to see where I'm going, so I think I take my torch and I throw it down into the dirt. I'm gonna minus a supply for that. And as soon as that goes out, like in like a puddle of water, I immediately cut corner and I go down the other path and I find another torch and I light it in space. And kind of haul down there. So that ends the fight for me. We're going to delve the depths some more. We're going to use... I'm going to look for signs since they came from a direction. So I'm going to delve the depths using wits. No, I'm probably running. I'm going to use edge. So on edge, it's if I'm like with haste running down the tunnel, which I am. I think I'm like sprinting, hard sprinting to try and get distance between the two of them. No, I don't think any additional modifiers. Secure an advantage. Nope. Shrink this up. Submit. Sick. Not cool, dude. I just cannot roll well in front of you guys today. I usually roll like a badass when no one's looking, so he says. Proof for it didn't happen. So that is going to be a miss on the delve move. On a miss, reveal a danger. 75, a discovery undermines or complicates your quest. So I think this is where the cave-in happens. I think that all that fighting loosened something over in the fork of the tunnel, and I'm barred off from going backwards. So we're going to do... I think there's some notes I can make on the site here. So the entrance is a mesh of slabbed rock. And then becomes a fork in the tunnel. Which is now blocked off by a cave-in. No, I can't bolt it here. Well, so let's see. Cave-in happens. Discovery undermines. I don't make progress. I think I ventured down in the darkness a little while longer. Cuts me off from my opponents, but even if I find Tessa, I'm going to have to find a new way out of here, which really sucks. This has all probably happened in the span of about 15-ish minutes. 15, 20 minutes. I think as we go down, we can see like the pieces of track that are kind of upturned or bent because of fallen rock or eroded from constant dripping. We can see carts that have like turned over and that have spilled ore or rock outside of them. At some point, I think that my torch catches the gleam of like an iron vein or some sort of metal vein in the wall. And kind of scrape my hand across it and it's smooth and wet. I can see footprints in maybe like loose earth, um, or imprints in a bunch of rubble or pebble. I follow those. I'm gonna delve the depths again. I'm gonna use wits to kind of follow those. Weak hit, huh? So I roll on the table. $38 on wits. Mark progress and reveal a danger. So we're gonna go to sights. I'm gonna make the sights and the this is 2. And the vowel lineup. And then we reveal a danger. Oh, there we go. You face an environmental or architectural hazard. So I don't think that cave-in was quite done. I think that, wait. I'm going to do a 50-50, ask the Oracle. I think that either it will be webbing from a harrow spider, or maybe another Iron Revenant. I think if it's 49, if it's 1 to 50, it's going to be an Iron Revenant. If it's 51 or higher, it's going to be a spider. I want to grab a pillow for my back here. I've had this chair for a long time. It is certainly worn out. It's plush. So less Revenant, more spider. More spider. So I get trapped in some webbing. I'm going to try to face danger. If that succeeds, if I can get out of this face danger, I won't fight the spider. If I don't get out of it, spider's coming. Spider's coming for me. So we're going to face danger. I am going to use strength. So we're going to roll plus iron. Submit. Submit. That is a miss. I am locked up. I'm going to see what pay the price offers me, but it's probably going to be a spider. No, I don't think that's it. I think we face spider. So I think I start to struggle. The axe is on my back again, so I can't really reach it. My arm's kind of stuck in something that caught my way, and when I went to go reach for it, my other arm got stuck. The torch is just in a position that's not going to allow me to burn it off yet. Maybe I could have used wits instead. But the tensile strength on this thing is insane. So the spider comes down from like the ceiling, its eyes glistening in the torchlight from the shadows above. We're entering the fray. I'm being ambushed, so I'm going to roll plus wits. I think I'm able to maneuver the torch enough to allow for myself to break free just before the spider strikes me. I'm going to strike back. Fuck. Your attack fails and you must pay the price. Your foe has initiative. I just want to see. I'm going to face danger to see if I take harm from him. So first I'm going to pay the price. Waste a resource. I think that's going to be health here in a second. Otherwise it's more stress. Face danger with edge. I'm going to do plus wits. It's a weak hit. I'm going to endure stress. I think heart and spirit are still equal here. Or I think spirit is higher. Momentum 5. Burn momentum to get a strong hit. Oh, wait. Did it burn momentum for me automatically? Oh, it's letting me know that if I burn momentum, I can get a strong hit. Wow, I didn't know that had that feature. Let's see. Yeah. I avoid its strike back. I take another momentum, so first it resets, then we gain 1. So burning momentum is when you make a roll, and if your momentum is equal to or higher than a challenge dice, you can reset your momentum, which is 2 for the game, and you can get rid of one of the challenge dice for the level of that momentum. In this case, I had 5 momentum. I rolled a 3, so if I get rid of the 3, I get a strong hit. Sometimes at most times, it's going to be a weak hit with momentum, but it was great. So on a strong hit, take plus momentum, get out of the way. It doesn't mean I have initiative yet, though. My foe still has initiative. So I'm going to clash with them, with the spider. So I go to strike. The spider comes down and tries to bite into me with its mandibles and like sort of a raking motion. And I miss. I hit rock, but I use the axe to push off of the wall to avoid the strike. And I'm going to use that momentum to push me back to the other thin portion of the wall, push off of that for an attack. That's a weak hit on the clash. On a weak hit, inflict your harm, then pay the price. Your foe still has initiative. So I didn't even set up a progress for the Harrow Spider. I believe Harrow Spiders are dangerous. Inflict 2 harm, or in this case 4 boxes. Pay the price. Causes delay or puts you at a disadvantage. I think that we hear some of the cave-in rock portion being removed. We can hear like yelling from further down in the tunnel. And I think if this takes any longer, much longer, we're going to have a bigger problem on our hands again. So I am going to face danger because this thing is going to try to hit me. Whoops. I'm going to face danger with speed. That's a weak hit. I avoid, but something happens. take one. I'm gonna minus momentum because that's that represents them coming closer or getting closer. I'm gonna clash because I'm still I still do not have initiative. Iron. No modifier. Weak hit again. I inflict my harm on the spider. Excuse me. I think that's we're gonna try to end the fight on the next one. I'm gonna do another face danger here. Or pay the price. The current situation worsens. They're through the tunnel. The two, I think one guy comes through the tunnel. Looks a little cut up and bruised. No, you know what? We'll ask the Oracle to see what happened. We'll see what that. So 50-50. That way I'm not pulling any punches on myself. Though it doesn't make for a very entertaining show if I don't pull a couple of punches. 50-50. If it gets 51 or higher, there is one guy. I think that's the more likely one. Actually, I think with the one guy injured, I still have to roll 1d100. I think it's more likely that there's only one, so 26 or higher. Wow. The game says fuck you. So both of them come through the tunnel. I need to end this fight. I have 8 for the spider. That's a weak hit. I think it's going to be a new danger. I have to deal with these two guys. So I think I finish off the spider. I throw down. I hack and slash. I get a nice like uppercut into its thorax, kind of splitting it from center. And it just like, all of its weight comes down and my axe like barred onto the floor, causing me to waste more time. I yank that sucker free, but those two guys are on top of me in no time. And now I'm in a fight with them. So I'm going to do a new enter the fray. I'm facing off against them. We're going to do heart. Weak hit. I can either be an initiative or take momentum. I think in this situation, because of my axe getting stuck inside the spider, I am going to just take the momentum and not have initiative. So I'm going to face danger after this. 2 more momentum. Face danger. I think it's either iron or edge. Iron. I think it's going to be forceful defense here. Opportunity and success. All praise. So I think that I get the axe free. They come barreling down. I meet them halfway. I bar them with my axe again. I shove into them. I think I'm going to look to end the fight with them. Progress is 6. This time murdering. I think I'm going to try to get them in a single cleave. What do my assets do again? When you strike or clash. Single cleave. Here we go. Pizza pie. God damn it. Oh no, bring the... Oh, I didn't know that could do that. I'll make sure you all can see at least the first result there. Boom. Okay. Complication City. That's my life. Let's see if there's a Delve Oracle we can roll. It's not. Oh. Oh. Dang it. A third guy. I think a third guy shows up. Insane. And pincers me. How many people are in this tunnel? Ugh. So progress increases them the formidable. This is getting pretty bad for me. I'm gonna... What does compel do? I can't scroll on here, which is weird. Which is something I'll have to fix for next time, but I don't really need the below moves currently. I don't think I can appeal to their sensibilities in this situation. I'm gonna have to try to turn the tide of the fight. You can steal initiative from your foe to make a move, not a progress move. When you do, add +1 and take +1 momentum. I'm gonna try to turn the tide of the fight. Add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. Turn the fight, turn the tide of the fight. I'm gonna try to end the fight again. So I bar into them, I go for the cleave, one of them catches the blade of my axe with their sword, and I think that the second one catches my blade, the second one shoves me back and creates distance, and then there's a third one that comes from the way I was going into the tunnel with his own torch. So there's these three like brawly scruff wearing brass scaled jerkins, has like scarring on either their bare arms or across their face in some manner. I think like shaved sides of heads with like very short like tied ponytails or like rough hair. One may have like a beard. Shoot. Even with a +1. Is there anything I could have done in my ass? I should have secured an advantage first. Alright, I'm pincered between 3 people. This is going to be a tough situation to get out of. I couldn't end the fight, and I had to pay the price for the turn the tide, right? Yeah, pay the price. That'll be the last thing I do. If I can do it, pay the price. Roll. The price I pay is you are separated from something or someone. I think I'm gonna move this into if Tessa is alive roll later and do an Ask the Oracle. But we're not going to do that right now. We are coming upon the hour of playtime. It was a pleasure to have you all here with me today. I know this quarantine stuff can be a mess for some people in terms of livability, but I hope you're all being safe, learning new creative outlets, bonding with your friends and family in the best way you know how. And I hope to see you next week, Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be at the same time, but it'll definitely be Wednesday when I do this again. Let me know in the comments if there's a better time you'd like to view this on. So until then, my name is Jeremy, and I will see you next time.